Hey guys, I'm going to start a new series called D2learn. I've been getting into composites recently, so every time I make a composite, I try to learn something new to help me make it better. So in this series, I'm going to be showing you kind of like the how to do what I learned making that composite. So this one is huge. It has a total of 44 pictures, but 42 of them are for the panorama part. I just went like, and then boom, got this panorama. So what I learned in this video was how to make a brush preset. There's probably a ton of videos out there showing you how to do this, but I'm just going to show you how I did it with my pictures. The first thing you're going to want to do is find the picture that you want to make the preset with. For this brush, I want to make like a fog-like brush, and clouds are pretty much like fog. So I took this picture of some clouds. What we're going to do is open it in Photoshop. Once it opens in Photoshop, you're just going to want to draw a rough selection around the cloud that you want. Make sure you encompass the entire cloud. I want to use this cloud right here. So I'm just going to draw around it. Okay, that was pretty bad. So you just kind of draw around the parts of it that you want. Like that. Once you do that, you're going to copy and then file, new, just make a new document that's blank with nothing on it. That works fine. Then paste whatever you just copied. So what you're gonna want to do is, once you have it opened and pasted into this new document, select the background layer and then Control I, and that will make the background black. That's what we want. And then after that, you're going to select the channels section right here. If it's not there for you, you can just do Window and then click on Channels to make it appear and disappear. And then you're going to want to look through each of the red, green, and blue to see which ones have the most contrast between the clouds and the sky. In this case, I think red has the most contrast. So what we're going to do is click and drag it to the new, whatever button this is, create new channel button, and that'll just make a copy of it for us. With the copy selected, we're going to come over here to Image, Adjustments, and then Levels. And this is just a tool that we will use to make the sky part as black as we can and the clouds as white as we can. That way it makes it super easy to adjust the layers, or to make that selection when we make the brush. So we're just gonna move these until the sky is black as it can be, but still keep all the clouds. Drag this up, take this and drag it down to make them whiter. Maybe drag these up a little bit. Alright, so this isn't too bad. It's not perfect, but brushes don't need to be perfect because they're, yeah, just the way it is. So then what we can do is click OK. If you're not quite happy with it, then you can always open the brush tool by pushing B, and then, or sorry, not the brush. You can always push E to get the eraser tool, and with layer 1 selected, with red copy and layer 1 selected, you can just kind of erase this edge right here that we don't want. Make sure that the hardness level is set to like 0 or something. And the way you can get to changing that really quickly is pushing Alt and then right click, and then move left and right to adjust the size of the brush, and up and down to adjust the hardness of the brush. So we just want a big brush and a little bit of hardness. So that'll kind of erase it. That looks good. So then what we're going to do, push Control and then select the channel thumbnail, and that will select all of these for us. Once all of it's selected, you just select Edit and then Define Brush Preset. So you can name this whatever you want. Do that. And then we'll just open a new layer, hide these ones, deselect by pushing Control D, That will make the selection go away. Then we will use the paint bucket tool, make sure that black is selected, and then just paint the layer black. Go back to our brush, which should have that, and make it white. As you can see, it just does this right now, and that doesn't look very like foggy. So what you can do is select this right here. That will bring up different things. We'll select shape dynamics, and you can adjust. I usually adjust size jitter to a high amount, and that makes it a lot better. You can also do a little bit of angle jitter. I either like to go like crazy with it, but especially if it's a longer cloud like this one is, you don't want to go super crazy. So I'm actually going to keep that down a little bit, because you can kind of see down here what it'll look like if you do it, and we don't want it to go too crazy. So I think that 6%, maybe a little bit more. I think that looks pretty good. After you do that, also, just so you know, I'm just pushing Control Z every time I do a brush stroke. That way I have room to redo it every time. So that's looking pretty good. And then what you can do after that is go to scattering, and that just kind of makes it so it's not quite as straight of a line. So I don't do this too much, because if you go crazy, then I guess that would work if you're doing a big area. Just do a little bit though. Well, you can do whatever you want, but I usually just do a little bit, maybe 39%. That looks pretty good. Okay, and then the last thing that I usually do is transfer, and then this is where you can adjust the opacity jitter. So if you have it at 0, it'll only do 1 opacity, and if you have it, if you have it at 100, it kind of changes it every time, so that I usually just keep it at a higher number, usually 100 or little less than 100, so like 80% ish. And then I also increase the flow jitter significantly as well, and that just kind of adds some dimension. I might bring down the opacity jitter a little. You can also, one last thing is that you can adjust the control by the pen pressure if you have a Wacom tablet, which I do not. So the last thing that I want to tell you is that I made this mistake at first as well. You just want to hit X. That's not going to be good. So what you want to do is click this and then new brush preset, and then you can just name it the same thing. And then when you come down here into your brushes, you can actually just delete the first one that you had, because that one is just a straight line and that doesn't look very good. So I'm just going to, right click, delete brush, yes, and then anytime that you want to use this brush, like in this picture for example, you can just select the down arrow and do that. If you're using like a normal brush like this, then you can go back, select this one, and then paint away. So that is how I created the fog for this picture, and that's what I learned in the making of this Edison Woods picture. Hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe. Also, happy 100, yay! And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye. Also, I hope you like this series, because I plan to do a lot more composites because I'm really liking making them. Okay, bye for real. Oh my gosh. No, we don't want to save that or that. Just, you know what? Close everything. Skip. Oh, you should probably stop recording. Stopping recording. 18 minutes. Man, I talk a lot. I need to get that down. Alright, we're done. Bye.